So breathing standing postures that you can choose from. We can have one where the legs are together, or we can stagger the stance depending on if you're feeling a little bit uneven tension within the pelvic floor. So first you can take a block and you can put it between the thighs, and then you can hold on to like your door frame, your doorknob. Here I'm using a squat rack. So block is between my thighs. I'm going to have my feet a little bit out, toes slightly pointing in. So this is bringing my legs into internal rotation to open more of the bottom of my pelvis. I'm going to grab onto the squat rack and sit back into it. You may need to bring the feet a little bit closer so that you can feel like all the tension is up in the upper body. I'm squeezing the block between my thighs, and I'm going to take big inhale, down and out. Feel the bottom of that pelvic floor expand and load down. And then exhale, lift up and in. So again, having that audible exhale, that type noise, can really help turn on that pelvic floor and those lower abdominals. The other option would just be to completely relax as you exhale. So big inhale. So with that technique, I'm not lifting up in the pelvic floor, I'm just allowing it to gently return back to its resting position. Now, if I wanted to find more of like a staggered stance, or if I wanted a little bit of to breathe into different spaces or quadrants of my pelvic floor, from a standing position, I can come into a staggered stance. This left hip, I'm going to drive back. So I'm putting the weight into this left leg as I twist here. So sometimes the tendency is to put the weight into the back leg as you rotate, but we want the weight to be in the front leg. So this is just a balanced leg. So I'm driving this hip crease back, rotating the upper body towards this leg. And then the other option is I could take that block, put it between my thighs, so I'm driving the knee in, and then big inhale. So I'm going to feel this more in that front leg, back side. So for me, the left posterior side of that pelvic floor. And then you can switch sides. So if I'm always favoring my right side, I would want to favor a hip shift back on that left side. If I always favor my left side, I'd want to focus more on that right hip shifting back. So I can come into my staggered stance, weights in that front leg. If I want to add a block between the thighs, I can. I'm going to drive this hip crease back as I rotate towards that front leg and squeeze the block in. Big inhale, exhale to release. So in this stance, I'm feeling it more in that right posterior side. This is what it looks like from the side. So weights in that front leg, driving that hip crease back, rotating towards that front leg as I drive the knee into the block. So from there, you can breathe for like 10 on each side. If you find that one side is a little bit more tense than the other, so for me, my left side is more tense, I would probably breathe there for 20 breaths at least. So you can play around with the legs together, shifting back and breathing, to having the legs coming to internal rotation, or doing one leg at a time and twisting.